This session is to introduce the Constitution of the Republic of Korea. By searching for the Constitution of the Republic of Korea in the Internet search bar, you can view the contents immediately, and you can also easily borrow it as a book from the library. The Constitution is the basis of all laws that are necessary to run the country, guarantees the basic rights of the people, and at the same time expresses the national identity. If we look closely, the Constitution consists of the essential contents for our lives. Today, we will take a look at the context and history of the Constitution of the Republic of Korea. The Constitution of the Republic of Korea can be considered as a collection consisting of a written constitution and other normative rules. Therefore, more than simply finding a written constitution is required in order to resolve a constitutional conflict. Generally, the sources of the Constitution and the Republic of Korea are categorized into the Constitution of the Republic of Korea, acts, judicial decisions, constitutional conventions, and constitutional customs. And lastly, the concept of the constitutional customs created by the Constitutional Court of Korea is still highly controversial with regard to its clear understanding and hierarchy. Let's examine the sources one by one. This code of laws, consisting of a total of 130 articles, encapsulates the highest statutory power. Since its initial enactment on July 12, 1948, it has undergone 9 amendments to reach its current form. The preamble, like the preface of a book, concisely expresses the intrinsic values of the Constitution. The main text consists of 10 chapters with the main contents as follows. Article 2, paragraph of the Constitution of the Republic of Korea states that nationality in the Republic of Korea shall be prescribed by act. Here, what is the difference between the Constitution and laws? The dictionary defines laws as all laws enacted by the National Assembly, with all such laws needing to reflect and embody the ideology and spirit of the Constitution. Therefore, if the Constitution establishes basic principles on certain issues, detailed elements according to social and political changes are determined by laws through legislation. The Constitutional Court is a special court that deals with disputes related to the Constitution. When a citizen's rights and/or freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution are infringed, he/she can file a constitutional appeal with the Constitutional Court, as the court's function is to uphold the Constitution and protect the rights of the people. If the Constitutional Court adjudges that a certain law is unconstitutional, such law becomes null and void. Although Korea follows a written constitution, it is still a country where conventions play an important role. The Legislation and Judiciary Committee in the National Assembly, for example, initially only served very formal functions, such as reviewing the text of laws for errors. But as bills were submitted continuously to such plenary sessions, it actually began to take a legislative role. Since the Legislation and Judiciary Committee began to keep even the ruling party and the president in check, the convention of electing the chairperson of the Legislation and Judiciary Committee from among the members of the opposition party was established in the National Assembly. However, such constitutional conventions may be amended at any time by acts or other forms of legislation. The customary constitution is one of the most controversial areas within the legal grounds of the constitutional system in Korea. Although it does not have the form of a written constitution, it is regarded as a natural common sense facet of the Constitution and brings to bear a similar effect as to that of the written Constitution. For instance, there is no article in the Constitution that states that the capital of the Republic of Korea is Seoul, but the customary constitution has seen it established and regarded as such over a long tradition of Korean life. The biggest difference between the customary constitution and constitutional conventions is that the customary constitution is a functioning part of the national constitution, so it should undergo the constitutional revision procedure. Through such, the Constitution has been mixed with various elements. Therefore, it is highly important that the Constitution be interpreted properly. Since there is a lot of room within interpretations, when people face constitutional conflict, legislators and judges must make decisions based on the values and principles inherent in the Constitution so that citizens can reach amicable agreement. Although the Constitution of the Republic of Korea protects the liberal democracy, there have been many changes within a short period of time before it has reached its current form. Today, we will take a look at major points of inflection in the history of Korean legislation. Korea had to go through a period of Japanese colonization immediately following the Joseon Dynasty monarchical period. This was a period of inactivity in the development of the Korean Constitution. Korea began to follow a path toward the development of a democracy. However, the Korean War broke out soon after and a dictatorship came into power. Democracy again entered a long dark period. After the Park Chung-hee regime collapsed, people believed that true democracy would be established in Korea. However, soon another military regime seized power and people fought against that dictatorship. The Constitutional Court that was reinstated at that time has continued to play a pivotal role in the democracy of Korea. History is an unending dialogue between the present and the past. A direct quote from the famous historian E.H. Carr. The Constitution of the Republic of Korea can be interpreted correctly only with an understanding of the context that is a combination of acts, judicial decisions, constitutional conventions, and constitutional customs. In addition to the textual code of laws and an examination of its history, present, and its future. That's a wrap on the context and history of the Constitution of the Republic of Korea. KLAW Academy.